I've just checked the bearing clearance for the camshafts, and you may well be familiar with plastic gauge. So they're thin strips of, well, plasticine type material, and all you do is, sorry about the creaky board I'm standing on, let's sort that out, that's better. So you lay a strip of the plastic gauge on your bearing surface, and then you put your cap on. Is that the correct one for that side? No. But you put your cap on, or you put them all on, tighten them down, and the squashing effect squeezes the plasticine out, and then you remove the cap and you can see what you're left with, a squashed piece of plasticine. And then you use the supplied chart to match up the thickness. So this looks perhaps a little bit thicker than the 0.05 of a millimetre there. It's a little bit thicker than that perhaps, but not as thick as the 0.38, not far off. So it's probably around about 0.045, something like that, for my oil gap clearance. They're all the same, which is nice. So it's a very simple and quite effective way of measuring oil clearances. You know, it doesn't, you just literally break off a small piece and lay it over the, you lay it over your bearing surface. You see there's evidence on the caps as well, which is some I've done earlier. So that just rubs straight off with your fingernail, or a bit of brake cleaner will remove that instantly. So that's nice because it's more or less dead in the middle of the acceptable range of allowable wear. The camshafts I'm using are some regrind high lift cams, and these surfaces, the bearing surfaces, have been restored by using a chrome plating process. They were quite scuffed up bad, so basically it's been restored back to the original dimensions, which is why I'm getting some good readings of these bearing clearances, even though the head is quite old. I've cleaned up these. So that's nice to see anyway, with a good oil clearance gap there. Another thing you'll notice as well is I've threaded in some studs rather than the normal bolts here, and that's just because I'm fiddling around with the bearing caps. These threads are quite weak, and especially if you're screwing them in and out multiple times. So just screwing in some studs, although I might not use these, you know, when I've finished and finally assembled, I'll probably just retain the standard bolts. But for fiddling around, taking the caps on and off, then there's going to be no wear to the threads in the head. I'll get these, get on with these valves now, get those out.